If you like our content, please like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get alerts when we introduce new videos.
Welcome to the demonstration series for the RUCKUS Analytics Cloud Service for Network Intelligence and Service Assurance. The videos in this series will describe the various views, services, and capabilities of the RUCKUS Analytics platform. In this video, I'll describe the data presented in the Wired Network Report dashboard. So let's get started. Here I am, logged into RUCKUS Analytics, and you can access the Wired Network Report dashboard by navigating to and expanding Reports on the left side pane. Then click on the Wired Network link. This will open the Wired Network Report dashboard. A Wired Network Report provides details of traffic distribution, power over Ethernet usage, and errors over time. Let's start at the top of the page. As with most reports, there's a time selection field which allows you to determine the time span of the data represented in the report. And next to that is the filter selection field that allows you to select which devices to include in the report. These fields are covered in detail in a separate presentation of this video series. Now let's look at the various tiles available in this report. At the top left is the Overview tile. It provides a general overview of the entire network. Based on your selection of switches and date range filters, the overview displays the total traffic received at the switch, as well as the total traffic transmitted by the switch. It shows the total number of switches, and it shows the total traffic rate and average traffic rate through the switches. The Traffic Distribution by Switch Model and Port Speed tile displays traffic volumes of each switch model, then further breaks it down by port speed. If you mouse over the bars in the graph, a full breakdown of traffic by port speed is displayed in a pop-up box. The Top Switches by Traffic tile contains a donut chart and a graph. The donut chart and the graph display the top 10 switches with the highest traffic volume in the network. When you pass your mouse over a switch's piece of the donut chart, the total traffic is displayed in a pop-up box. On the graph, you can use the traffic drop-down to plot lines based on total traffic, received traffic, or transmitted traffic. The other drop-down allows you to specify the granularity of the data from each 15 minutes all the way up to each week. Within the graph, you can select or deselect which switches are plotted. And passing your mouse over any plot point will display a pop-up detailing traffic for all the selected switches during that interval. Clicking the Table View button displays the same data in an alternative format. This table can be enhanced by clicking the gear icon, which allows you to add data columns to the table and increase the number of rows per page. By default, this table displays the top 10 switches, but that can be changed by selecting a different number from the drop-down. Next, we have the Top Switches by PoE Usage tile. It also contains a donut chart and a graph that is very similar to the switches by traffic we just covered, except it covers power over Ethernet usage. When you pass your mouse over a switch's piece of the donut chart, the total PoE usage is displayed. On the graph, you can select the granularity of the data from each 15 minutes up to a week, and within the graph, you can select or deselect which switches are plotted. Again, clicking the Table View button displays the same data in a table format. The gear icon is here again to allow you additional columns and increase the number of rows per page, and by default, this table displays the top 10 switches, but that can be changed by selecting a different number from the drop-down. Next, we have the Top Switches by Errors tile. Just like the previous two, it contains a donut chart and a graph. Passing your mouse over the donut shows the number of errors for each switch. Again, on each graph, you can specify the granularity, and you can select and deselect which switches are plotted. Clicking the Table View button displays the same data in table format, and the gear icon is here again and provides similar options. The top 10 switches are displayed by default, and of course we can change it again. Next are the traffic trend graphs. The first graph displays total traffic by usage, and the second displays average traffic rate by usage. For both, you can change the granularity of the plot lines with the drop-down. You can also toggle which traffic is plotted by selecting or deselecting the boxes. The options are transmit, receive, or total traffic. And again, if you pause the pointer over one of the plot points, an information box is displayed containing the details for that time period. The last tile is the error trend graph. This graph displays error trends by error type. These include in errors, out errors, CRC errors, and in discards. They can be selected or deselected by clicking on the respective squares. As with the previous graphs, you adjust the granularity with the drop-down box. And of course, pausing your mouse pointer over a plot point will display an information box containing details for that time period. As with most reports in RUCKUS Analytics, this report can be exported to a comma-separated value CSV file or to a PDF. Selecting the CSV option contains all the raw data that populates each of these tables, graphs, and data points, combined into a single zip file. The PDF export output looks very similar to the screen you're viewing now, with each of the current tiles, graphs, and tables displayed in the same graphical format. This completes the presentation describing the RUCKUS Analytics Wired Network Report dashboard. I hope you found this information useful and hope you return for more of the presentations in this RUCKUS Analytics series. Thank you for taking the time to view this presentation.